Have you ever stopped to think about how every single part of you gets the energy it needs? To run, to jump, or even just to think? Or how a giant tree gets water all the way from its roots to its highest leaf? Well, it's all thanks to this incredible internal delivery service that works nonstop, 24/7. So how in the world does it all work? Let's dive in and find out. And no, I'm not talking about some freeway packed with cars. The highway I'm talking about, it's a massive network of vessels right inside your own body. It's constantly moving, constantly delivering. It's a system that never, ever gets to take a break. All right, first up, let's take a look at the superhighway inside animals, and that includes us. It's called the circulatory system, and honestly, it is an amazing piece of natural engineering. Now, the engine of this superhighway is your heart. It's this incredibly powerful pump. And the coolest part is, you can actually feel it working. Go ahead, try it. If you place your fingers on your wrist or your neck, that steady beat you feel, that's your pulse. It is literally the rhythm of your life. We can actually measure this rhythm. So check this out. Here's some data we collected from 4 different students. We took their pulse 3 different times while they were resting. As you can see, the numbers are pretty close for each person, but they're not exactly the same. Do you notice any patterns here? Okay, so looking back at those numbers, what do you think? Can you figure out which student has the highest resting pulse rate? Whose internal superhighway is the busiest when they're just sitting still? I'll give you a second. If you said student 2, you absolutely nailed it. Their average is just a little bit higher than everyone else's. But a resting pulse is really just the beginning of the story. The real magic happens when we actually start moving. So what do you think happens then? Take a look at this new set of data. We've got heart rates before and after 4 different exercises. Now, it's no surprise that they all go up, right? But just look at the differences. Some of these jumps are way, way bigger than the others. And this bar chart makes that change crystal clear. This shows us just the increase in heart rate. So for exercises 1 and 2, it's a pretty small bump. But exercise 3, whoa, that is a massive jump of 65 beats per minute. Somebody was really working hard there. So why that huge jump? Well, it's because your muscles were basically screaming for more fuel and more oxygen to keep going. And your heart responded by kicking into high gear, pumping faster to push all that precious cargo through your circulatory superhighway at top speed. It's your body's amazing response system in action. Okay, so animals have a powerful pump, the hearts. But what about plants? They don't have a heart, right? Yet a giant redwood tree can get water hundreds of feet into the air. How on earth do they pull that off? Well, they use a completely different system. Let's call it nature's amazing plumbing. Yeah, instead of a highway, a plant system is more like a super smart 2-way pipeline. You can see the basics of it right here in this diagram. See those 2 different arrows, those 2 different pathways? Each one has a very different and very important job to do. It's a really simple but totally brilliant design. One pipeline, let's call it the up elevator, pulls water and minerals from the soil all the way up to the leaves. Then the second pipeline, the down elevator, takes the sugary food that the leaves make from sunlight, photosynthesis, and delivers it down to every other part of the plant. It's this constant 2-way flow of life. So we've got the animal superhighway, and we've got the plant plumbing system. They work in really different ways, but they both share the exact same ultimate goal, keeping the organism alive and in balance. For plants, a really key part of this balancing act is a process called transpiration. Basically, as plants release a little bit of water vapor from their leaves, it creates this kind of suction that helps pull more water up from the roots. It's almost like the whole plant is sipping through a giant straw. And just like how sweating cools us down, transpiration also helps the plant regulate its temperature on a hot day. Pretty cool, huh? And speaking of staying cool, humans have their own way of staying balanced, and it all comes back to water. We have to stay hydrated for our internal highway to work properly. But let's be honest, sometimes it's hard to tell if you're actually drinking enough water. Or is it? Believe it or not, your body gives you a super simple visual report card every single day. Just check out this chart. The color of your urine is a direct signal of how hydrated you are. If it's in that light, pale yellow zone, you're golden. But as it starts to get darker, that's your body sending you a really clear signal saying, hey, I need some more water down here. And here's why that water is just so important. When you're healthy and hydrated, your urine is about 95% water. That water is the vehicle that carries all the waste products out of your body. Without enough of it, your body just can't clean itself out effectively. All right, so after a little journey through these internal highways and plumbing systems, what's the big takeaway here? What are the basic rules of life's delivery service? Well, it really all boils down to this. For animals, you've got a powerful heart pumping blood through that huge network of vessels. For plants, you have a clever plumbing system moving water up and food down. But in both cases, the goal is exactly the same: deliver the essential stuff needed for energy and growth. And the result? A healthy, balanced organism that's ready for anything. These delivery services are so reliable that we almost never even think about them. They just work. But what do you think happens when a pipe gets clogged in a plant or a highway gets blocked in an animal? It's a really interesting question, and it shows just how vital these systems truly are. Something to think about.